don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. The air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. And we sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living rooms. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman, because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value. So, I want you to get up now. I want all of you to get up out of your chairs. I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
Oh, looky there, ladies and gentlemen. I lied on my Facebook social media posts because I said that Kate was going to be off tonight. But looky there, Kate's not off. She and Niles are home, and she's working the controls, doing what she does. That's fantastic. So we are all here, and is that what I posted in the actual description? What did I post in this? Oh, see, I said it's Sunday and we're back. Well, Bilbrey is. Kate's off for the night and we'll return tomorrow evening. I don't have to fix that. That's fine. Host Kristopher Bilbrey. Yeah, everything's good. So yeah, we're all here and everything's good. The whole team's here together. Ladies and gentlemen, we have an announcement, and the announcement is this. We are officially ready to pull the curtain down and reveal the studio. But it's not going to happen until tomorrow. Tomorrow, I believe, is the big day for the studio. For everyone that's been chomping at the bit, waiting, everyone's like, he didn't move the studio. He's still there at the lighthouse, and he just has a black curtain behind him. Somebody messaged me that the other day and said that, and it was funny. But no, we do believe we're on schedule. I was actually going to postpone it because we are in the process of working on the new intro and the outro. And I gotta just be honest with y'all. I very, very, very much loved and very much thought how wonderful it was that all of you sent in the recordings. And what I was going to do was I was going to use the recordings and intercut them with music for the new intro is what I was attempting to do. But before we had even done this, I had contacted somebody that I knew that helped me with my initial intros on Perception is Reality. And I had told him that I was thinking about moving the studio and I was going to kind of do a facelift, yada, yada, yada. And he had started working on a couple of things, and he sent me some things, and I was like, oh my God. That's what it's like when somebody's actually a professional. So I think I made an executive decision and decided to go a different route. I have to wait, but I was going to wait until we could do everything all at once, like put the new graphics up, put the new intro in, and voila, there's the studio. Um, it's still going to take a little bit of time on the music. So, what I'm going to do, because I'm tired of waiting, we're just going to go ahead tomorrow and reveal the new studio, unveil. Yeah, it's all the same. Reveal the new studio to you all. As I've stated many times, the studio is going to be a living, breathing organism that grows and changes over time. So it can continue to evolve and develop, but we can show the biggest thing. So I'm excited for that. We are not going to wait on the music anymore. I'm going to let that run its course, and we'll just do that whenever. I've shown you guys that the artwork, I think that the artwork is great. And Kate had just told me, because we literally just ordered a banner to hang up, and the banner is based off of like the old logo that I've been using for a while. But then this is going to be the new like artwork. It looks just so clean and nice. It's really amazing. So we're doing some things. So we're going to start the unveiling tomorrow of the new studio. It'll still be some time until we get everything done, and it'll just take time and grow over time. But you know, we've got nothing but time, so it is what it is. You know, so that's that. A couple of other things, bits and pieces of information. Yeah, no more live from the upstairs basement in the cupboard under the stairs. Instead, it's going to be live from the downstairs attic, the cupboard over the wardrobe. Joe Black. That's great. That's great. Yeah, I hear you, Danny. It is what it is. Listen, it's so much of this has been like out of my control because I've been wanting to get things done, but we've been waiting on deliveries and different things, and so that's part of the problem. And every time I would be like, okay, I think it's very Kenny Rogers. You know what? That's so funny that you say that. Listen to me, Brenda. That is probably the greatest. No, put that comment back up for a second. That, I have got to tell you, is probably the single greatest compliment that a person could ever give me. Not because I give a damn about Kenny Rogers, but people for my entire life told my father that you got a very Kenny Rogers look going on. And so that, I have not heard that in quite some time. So that's probably one of the single greatest compliments that somebody could give me, because I guess that means I'm taking a little bit more after my father. It's funny looking at me and my brother on my dad's side, because Jacob looks like my dad when my dad was in his 20s. And I look like my dad, now. So when my dad was in his older years. So it is that. So I appreciate that very much. Let me see. There's something else that I know that I wanted to tell you all. Oh, yes. Now we're going to hold off on that. We're going to hold off on that just for a little bit longer. No. Okay. So, hold on here. Okay. Yeah. I will read those. I just had a post. Someone sent me a post from the Prairie Creek, so we will get into that. Oh yeah, Brenda Grider. I'm very happy that you said that. Okay. I know there's something important. I knew I should have written this down beforehand, but hey, look, we've got a big show. We're going to go ahead and get into it. Before we get started, I do want to put this up here and make sure that you guys are doing this. We are just a couple days away from the start of April. And that means, ladies and gentlemen, that voters registration is almost done for this election process. So please, please, please do these things. Smash that like button. Subscribe if you haven't. Click the bell. Comment over here if you want to. But above all else, good Lord, please register to vote. If you have not registered to vote and you live in Henry County, you live in Delaware County, if you live anywhere in the state of Indiana and beyond, I don't know what you guys are doing as far as your elections, but specifically in the state of Indiana, you go to the ticker that's at the bottom of the screen, www.indianavoters.com, indianavoters.com. You enter your information in and you run through the process. It will take you less than 3 minutes or less. Run straight through it. You will need your name. You will need your driver's license number. Okay, it's very easy. If you don't have your driver's license number, you can use your state-issued ID. If you don't have that, I think you can use your Social Security number, one of those numbers. Okay, this is very, very important. If you have been in prison in the past and you're out now, you can vote. If you have been charged with a misdemeanor and convicted of a misdemeanor, you can vote. If you have been charged with felonies and convicted with felonies, you can vote. It blows me away how many people say still yet today, oh, I don't pay attention or I don't get involved. I would like to, but I can't vote, so I don't piss with it. And I shake that person. Listen to me. You can vote. The only two people that cannot vote are dead people, and they vote all the time, and people in prison. If you're currently in prison, you cannot vote. Okay? So that's what's happening there. Nicholas Bogue. Hey, bro, I appreciate you tuning in. He says, bro, you need to get into the Wayne County area news. I'm a new watcher, but man, Richmond, Wayne County, it's wild out there. I've been contacted recently by a couple of supporters of various candidates down there in the sheriff's race. I know there's some weirdness going on with the coroner's office, a couple of the commissioners, and a couple of the state representatives races down there. I think I'm going to talk to a couple candidates from down there because I am getting a lot of people asking me to get into that area. So I tell you what, I will do that. I'm going to start doing that. All that I ask is that you help spread the word down there and get more people from that area watching. And at some point, you don't have to do it now, and I appreciate you here if you're watching, but that you switch from Facebook to YouTube. If you can switch from Facebook to YouTube, that is a better way of involving yourself in the entire process. That way you can communicate with more people that are watching, and it helps us out. So either way, I appreciate it. I like how you're here, and we are going to be looking into candidates down there in the Wayne County area. So I pay attention to what goes on down there. I read and I listen and I talk to people. So I'm pretty up to date with some of the things going on. I just haven't covered a lot down there. We talked about some situations between the coroner's office and the commissioners back a couple months ago. But we will maybe with this election see if we can get some more candidates on from down that area and try to try to spread into that area a little bit. I give you my word, we will work on that. So wherever you are, people, register to vote. www.indianavoters.com. indianavoters.com. Yes, Jeremy, I did. I absolutely saw that. I appreciate that. So do go check that. If you have moved recently, ding, 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 ding. If you've moved recently, if you've gotten a divorce, if your name's changed for some reason, your address has changed, you will want to verify. I tell people, listen, I vote every election all the time, May, November, for the 3-year span. And I still check my registration every election. It doesn't hurt. Even if you're registered, get on there, double check, make sure everything's good, make sure they haven't wiped you out or thought you've been dead or something like that. Absolutely check that out. And you can do all of that by going there. Okay. And the reason I bring this up is because, ladies and gentlemen, it is Sunday, March 29th. And that means Monday is the 30th, and then Tuesday's the 31st. Wednesday will be the 1st of April, and this is legitimately the last week to register, okay? We have Easter on Sunday. That's a big deal. We have Easter Monday. Monday the 6th is the last day that you can register. You have to be registered by 11:59. 11:59. You have to be registered by 11:59 p.m. on Monday, April 6th. If you are not registered by Monday, April 6th, you will not be able to vote in this primary. And I don't want you to be one of those people. Early voting starts on Tuesday, and I'm conflicted about that. I used to tell people to rush out and vote early. I do not tell you that now. I want you to save it, vote on election day if at all possible. If at all possible, save it until the actual election day, which will be Tuesday, May 5th. Okay. Cinco de Mayo. So vote on election day. For some reason, if you can't, then I tell you to go vote in person. Okay. If you have to do mail-in ballot, I get it. If that's your only option, that's fine. But if you could do anything besides that, do it. Okay, I just want to be very clear. You can also register at the license branch. You can do a lot of things. I just really push this because you can register on your phone. You can absolutely register on your phones, and it takes 3 minutes or less. So you don't have to go in and be bothered with anybody. You don't have to. You can do it right there. You can go do it from whatever you're watching me. If you're hearing my voice sing this video, you can register on whatever device that you have. So that's very important. All right. So first up tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be talking about 3 different things. We're going to be talking about Muncie. We're going to be talking about several different things in Muncie. Then we're going to go to Henry County. Okay. We're going to talk about Muncie and Henry County and several different things in both areas. Okay. First and foremost, I want to let everybody know that the agenda for the Muncie City Council meeting, the upcoming Muncie City Council meeting, is up. The agenda is up. The meeting, it feels as though the meeting should be tomorrow, but we're still in March. So although the meeting, it feels like it should be tomorrow, it won't be. It will be a week from tomorrow, which means the Muncie City Council meeting will also be on Monday, April 6th. And that meeting, or excuse me, that agenda is already up, and I'm going to share that for you all right here. Whoops, that was the wrong thing. Share screen. Okay, great. Here we go. So, ladies and gentlemen, here is the agenda for this upcoming meeting, and it's a really quick agenda. It doesn't look like it's going to be much of anything. Okay, reading down through here, we don't have a public hearing, so the meeting starts right at 7. Okay. We have an April 6th meeting, regular meeting, Pledge of Allegiance, invocation, citizen recognition, roll call, all 9 council members, approval of the minutes, appointments to boards and commissions at council discretion. It looks like they have the Beech Grove Cemetery Board is still there, and they need 2 people to appoint to that. That's been there for a while, so hopefully they can take care of that this meeting. They will then go into committee reports. I don't know if there are any committee reports, but there have been a couple here lately, so I look just for something to be there. We then go into ordinances previously introduced, and there's only one of these, and this is Ordinance 7-26, an ordinance of the City of Muncie amending Chapter 93 of the City of Muncie Code of Ordinances. Okay, that's interesting, and so not knowing, specifically what that is, we have to come over here and actually take a look at what that ordinance is, and I will do that now. Give me 1 second. Let me pull up City Council packets, and this will be in last month because that was a previously read ordinance. Ordinance 7-26. Okay, that is okay. That's the cemetery board ordinance where they are cutting the number of people from 7 to 5. I'm okay with that. That's, do whatever they got to do to get that working and make sure that people can attend. That'll be an ordinance that'll go through pretty quickly. From there, ladies and gentlemen, we go into new ordinances, and this is just the introduction. So they will talk about this. We will discuss it. The public will be able to discuss it because remember, we went back to the old rules. So we will be able to have our say, and then they will vote if it's going to be introduced or not. Then if it is introduced, then it will be up for adoption in May. This at first had me some kind of way, and then we found out a little bit of information about it, and I'm a little bit better with this. We're still going to have to watch it. I think it needs tightened up. So Ordinance 8-26 is an ordinance prohibiting the use of documents received from public records request for commercial purposes. So reading that there, an ordinance prohibiting the use of documents received from public records request for commercial purposes. What could that mean? Well, ladies and gentlemen, what we do right here, a lot of times I will request records and I distribute those records out to the populace. We run advertisements on this program. We make money from this program. Is this now going to stop me? Is it going to stop 104.1 WLBC? Is it going to stop 93.1 WIBC? Is it going to stop the Muncie Star Press or the Newcastle Courier Times? Is it going to stop the Winchester News Gazette? Is it going to stop the Anderson Herald Bulletin or the Indy Star from filing record requests? Okay. So I came over to the actual information here, and wanted to read the actual ordinance. And I'm going to pop this up here on the screen so you guys can see this as well. And this is where I kind of started getting a little sideways. Okay, at first. Okay, let's read this, and I'll walk you through my day the other day. Okay, an ordinance prohibiting the use of documents received from public records request for commercial purposes. Okay, whereas, and there is an Indiana Code 51433E, which deals with public records and the APRA, okay, Indiana Access Public Record Act. Indiana Code permits a political subdivision to enact an ordinance prescribing the condition under which a person who receives information from public records request via physical or electronic media is prohibited from using said information for commercial purposes. Okay, what's that mean? The communications director, Amber Green, of the City of Muncie, has recommended a prohibition on the providing of requested public records for commercial purposes or the otherwise solicitation of such materials to any other person for these purposes, and the Common Council finds it to be in the best interest of residents of the City of Muncie to enact safeguards to protect certain information from being utilized for commercial purposes. Now, therefore, be it ordained by the Common Council of the City of Muncie that, pursuant to Indiana Code, any person who receives information in an electronic format from the City of Muncie in response to a public records request may not use the information for commercial purposes, including to sell, advertise, or solicit the purchase of merchandise, goods, services, or sell loans, give away, or otherwise deliver the information obtained by the request to any other person for these purposes. Any person or entity who uses any information provided in the city for commercial purposes is defined in this section shall not be provided any such data for a period of up to 10 years. Section 2, and this is important, use of this information received in connection with the preparation or the publication of news for nonprofit activities or for academic research is not prohibited. Okay, keep that in mind. Request for non-color copies shall be 10 cents per page, 25 cents per color copy, if color copies are available. Section 4, documents that already exist in electronic format will be emailed upon request without charge. Requests for electronic copies that do not already exist in electronic format will cost the same as copies. And that doesn't make any sense. I'm going to have to fight with that because I don't, well, stand by. Victims of crime or loss of property due to fire or weather-related causes may obtain public information concerning the crime or loss of their personal records for free of charge. Section 7, information that is provided for free under the other city policies or ordinances is exempt from the provisions of this section. Okay, and then we go down here and we're like, well, who sponsored this? Well, of course, Dale Basham sponsored it. Well, of course he did. So the first thing that I did was I reached out to Dale Basham. Okay, I sent Dale an email, and of course, the email that I sent Mr. Basham was a pretty straightforward. It was polite. I wasn't rude. I wasn't in any way out of line. I sent him an email that said the following. I said to Dale, Counselor Basham, I see you have signed off on Ordinance 8-26, or at least I assume it's your signature. I guess Shireen could have copied it again. Who knows? But for this email, let's just assume it really is you this time. I guess I was a little snarky. Could you please explain this ordinance to me? More importantly, could you explain what the ordinance seeks to prevent? How will this ordinance benefit the citizens of Muncie? What, if anything, has happened that has called for this ordinance? You can email me, and I provided my email, or better yet, you can call me, and I provided my phone number. Whatever works for you, sir. Looking forward to hearing from you soon. And, of course, I sent that I sent that at 4 a.m. on Friday, March 27th, and I have yet to hear from him. He has not responded to my email, and well, of course he hasn't, because why would he? I also reached out to the mayor of Muncie, and I've received nothing from the mayor of Muncie. And then I reached out to the communications director. Now, when I reached out to the communications director, I was fully aware that she was on vacation on spring break with her children and was not in the office working. And I fully knew that. So I am not particularly giving her a hard time because she didn't specifically immediately respond. I posted on Saturday a social media post in which I basically told you guys everything that I just said there, that this ordinance has been posted and I have questions. I reached out to Dale Basham. He has yet to respond. I reached out to the mayor of Muncie. He's yet to respond. I reached out to Amber and I haven't heard anything from her. In that time, Amber contacted me because her vacation is over and she was on her way home. She contacted me and she told me what her reasoning for this ordinance was. Straight out, isn't this funny? So I will tell you what happened here. So I had reached out to Amber after reaching out to the mayor and after reaching out to Dale. And I'll put it to you this way. Honestly, it's not on Amber to answer. I mean, it is because she's the communications director. But it's, and honestly, it's not even on Dan to answer. I'm going to be perfectly honest. Dale Basham affixed his signature to this ordinance. He's bringing it to the council. He is a councilman, which is the representative body of the Muncie city government. I am of the strange opinion that if a counselor writes and brings forward an ordinance, or if someone else writes it and takes it and has the counselor sponsor it, if the counselor's signature is at the bottom of the page, however that came to be, that counselor should be willing to answer questions about said ordinance. That's exactly correct, Total Madness. That counselor should be willing to communicate what this ordinance is about. They should be able to speak about it upwards and downwards and inside out. The fact that Dale Basham sponsors 80% of the ordinances that go before the council because he's the administration's councilman, okay, let's just be honest, all right? The fact that he is sponsoring so many ordinances, but yet he refuses to communicate. All right. Yeah, he's the mayor's voice and vote. Absolutely. It's very, very, very sad. It is an abomination. It's ridiculous. He should not, he shouldn't be in the position he's in, essentially. He's unwilling to do the job. And listen, I'm going to email him every day between now and the 6th. I'm going to email him every day. And I'm going to talk to him about this when we are up there on the 6th. If he doesn't, listen to me, I'm letting you guys know. If he doesn't answer me between now and April 6th, I'm going to come unglued up at the podium. I'm just letting you know. You know that time when you and your brother are just absolutely having one of those days where everything is bad. You guys are just acting chaotic and you're driving your mother crazy. And she says, if I have to tell you guys one more time, I'm going to beat the ever-loving shit out of you. You know, that kind of a day. I'm letting you know, this is that thing. I'm telling him in advance. Counselor Basham, all it takes, bro, is an email. You don't even have to talk to me, man. But if you cannot communicate with me in some way between now and April 6th, I am going to come unglued at the podium. I'm just forewarning everybody. So it's like, what's going to happen? Is he going to contact me? Is he not going to contact me? I don't know. Listen, Jerry Dishman contacted me the other day. I was so nice to him. I thanked him. I came on here. You know what I mean? It was amazing. I appreciate how he did this. Okay. So I contacted Basham. I knew he wouldn't, and I was really pissed off. And so I put that up there. In fairness, I probably didn't give Amber enough time before I made my post. So, but Amber being Amber, I will tell you what she did. I asked her in a messenger, Facebook messenger, I said, do you know what this is about? Okay. And she hadn't responded. And to be fair, I think what Amber did was, I think Amber wrote up her snarky little Facebook message that she posted. And I think she immediately sent the yep in my messenger box, and then immediately posted that thing about not lying, because she technically, I mean, in my opinion, saying yep doesn't answer my question. It lets me know, yeah, you know what it is, but what's going on. So all at the same time that happened, and Kate got back on and responded back to her, and I appreciate Kate's message. So she called me, and we kind of had a little tiff, and then she explained to me what this ordinance was about. Basically, she said the following, and that is that over the last couple of years, there has been an increase in online companies, not the political spotlight, not Delaware County Advocate, not whatever Yinser and Liz are calling themselves, not the Star Press, not just people, not us. There have been an influx of companies that have been writing record requests, like, for example, that say the following: I want from the City of Muncie all building code and fire code violations on all of the houses in the 7, 8, and 900 blocks of South Elm Street from 1950 until now. And that's what they want. And so the people will say, well, that's too broad. You're going to have to pare it down. So then they say, okay, well, I want all of those same documents for just one of those blocks from 1950 to now. And whatever they do, they just keep requesting the same information, because then what they do is they take this information and they upload it onto a website. And then when a citizen wants to move to Muncie and a citizen wants to check these codes out about a house or something like that, the city can go through the records process and can get this information from the City of Muncie for the house in question for 10 or 20 cents, maybe at the most, maybe a couple dollars, you know what I mean? But what's happening is when citizens Google, code violations at this house, they're finding these websites that's charging the citizens large amounts of money. Yeah, you put in $50 and your credit card in our system, and then we'll give you all this information. So what they're trying to do is use the Indiana code that is there to stop these companies from doing this. Okay. That to me could be seen as a valid reason. Okay. And so I'm okay with that. I think that this document, this ordinance, needs to be pared down. I think that this ordinance needs to be revamped a little bit, and if so, I'm okay with it. And then it will just have to be a situation where we'll have to monitor what's happening, because I was given the word that this would not affect anybody that is a media journalist, news publication. It would not affect private individuals. And the minute that it would, I would then have a problem with that, and we would fight back against that. That would be one hell of a lawsuit. I'm going to tell you, because when I read this, after I read this and after I heard, there are other cities that have this in place. There are other cities that have this in place, and they have no problem issuing my record requests. So as soon as I had some explanation, I was okay with it. I just honestly, I wish that explanation had come from Dale Basham and not Amber. While Amber's the communications director, and I'm okay with her explaining it, and I feel like she needs to, and once she's back at work, I feel like she's okay, you're on the clock, so you need to be explaining this stuff. I'm okay with that, but I also still will stick to my standard statement that Dale signed his name to that document. His ass needs to be doing this. Okay. So I just want to be clear about that. So that's the ordinance, and that's the big ordinance that I was kind of like, ooh, what's going on with? All right. Going back here to the agenda. All right. After that, let's see here. I think so. I think so, Karen. I just told you, Stumblefoot, this ordinance is trying to prevent Acme Systems from emailing a records request to the City of Muncie and asking for all building codes violations for a mile stretch of Elm Street and bulking them down with that request, when what they're attempting to do with that information is turn around and upload it on acmesystems.com and then charge people lots of money to access those files that the individuals can already access from the City of Muncie for a very nominal figure. Okay. It's not according, you say according to me, but it's probably different according to Anna. It's not according to me, and that's according to Amber. And so that's the other reason why I want to hear what Dale has to say. Okay, number one, I'll be honest, I don't think Dan knows anything about this, because I don't think that this is a Dan thing. I think this is a communications director type of thing. Hell, it says that right in there, that the communications pushed for this. So I'm going to figure out a way to get to the information from Dale. One way or another, we'll hear about it on the 6th, and I'm going to argue that the language needs to be cleared up. They're saying that it's not going to affect citizens or news or media. Then, I mean, that's in there. It's clearly in there. It's section 2. Okay. I'm not saying he didn't know. I'm just saying I don't think he cares. I don't think this is something that he wrote up. I think this is something that he doesn't worry himself with. I think that's where I'm going with that. It's not something I don't think he didn't know about it. I just don't think it's something that I don't think that this affects him in any way. Whether the city does this or Amber's doing that or not doing it, that doesn't affect Dan in any way. I don't think he cares about it. That's what I mean by that. But the number one thing that I mean, it's already in there as far as a protection for the City of Muncie, citizens and news, is use of this information received in connection with preparation by a publication of news, nonprofit activities, or for academic research is not prohibited. So anybody can continue doing what we've always done as long as you're not trying to tie this up. And in the long run, those people can still request that information. They just have to do it. I think they could fight on. I think they could probably fight about this. They just have to figure out a different way to do it. And look, it's something that I think would protect the public and myself, because if Amber and other employees of the city of Muncie are tied up on digging that shit out for those companies, that delays me getting records or you getting records. So I'm all for them doing whatever helps get records to the public and to us faster.
But what if they need them for a legitimate reason?
What if who needs them for a legitimate reason?
Acme.
Well, I mean, okay, so what would be a legitimate reason there?
I don't know. Off the top of my head, what if they needed a public record for a legitimate reason?
Well, I mean, I think if it's for a legitimate reason, then they would be permitted to request it. Nothing stops you from requesting anything.
I know that, but it sounds like they're just going to refuse. You sold stuff one time, so now you're in trouble. You can't have any.
Well, that's the thing, though. So that would be then a situation where they would still have to give you notice of the refusal. If you don't think the refusal meets the legal definition here of what the deal is, then you would file a complaint and fight that out. I mean, there's a lot of things they currently refuse. Sometimes it's valid and sometimes it's not.
I don't know. I just think it'd be easier to put some kind of like fine in place where you can have the records, you're going to pay for the records. If we find out you're selling them, you'll be banned from getting them for a period of X, and you'll pay this amount of a fine.
I don't even like the fine idea, because I wouldn't want someone to try to utilize that against like me or someone. I get
it. The language of this just worries me.
It needs to be, the language needs to be carved up a little bit and fixed here.
Yes.
So that's the thing. So yeah, that's all it is there. Okay. Moving on. Let me see what we've got. We then go into resolutions. Resolution of the Common Council of the City of Muncie, updating appointments to the Human Rights Commission. Resolution 626, a resolution authorizing Mayor Dan Ridenour to apply for Community Development Block Grant and Home Investment Partnership Program. Grant funds from the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development, HUD. And then they go into tabled ordinances. Okay. Ordinance 2925 and ordinance amending Chapter 80. This is the situation that's been a big ordeal down in the Ball State area in Normal City, the whole bike lane deal. It's going to be interesting to see what happens there. And then Resolution 4-26, which is the Common Council of City of Muncie, resolution approving an interlocal agreement for the housing and operation of the municipal drone base. And it's not needed anymore, so that's going to come off the table and probably be killed. But I want some input here. I want the council to ask the administration what in the hell they did here. Okay? I want to know what's going on. What is happening here with this drone base? Like, it's absolutely ridiculous that because the council asked for a bit more information, they instead didn't say, okay, they weren't like, okay, well, we'll get you the information. They just said, screw it, we'll do it another way. And then it doesn't matter what you want. I have a major, major problem with that. Then they go into other business and adjournment. So that is, ladies and gentlemen, the agenda for the April 6th Muncie City Council meeting. It's going to be a pretty quick meeting, I think, other than that one ordinance. I think there are two situations there. I think it's going to be the bike ordinance is going to be a while in the table business. And then, of course, we need to have a discussion about 826. And I absolutely second that you put a record request in asking about your other record requests. And if they are not filing, or if they're not completing your record request, then you need to file a complaint with the public access counselor about that, because the city has to file record request. They have to complete the record request. They have to give you the documents that are there. Okay. And if they are not doing that, then you need to, we need to start punishing them with the ways that we have to do that in order to stop them from not doing their jobs, because they're not going to do their jobs. That's what they're good at, is avoiding doing their jobs. Okay, moving on from there, just briefly, I want to bring up the fact that, remember the Muncie Board of Works meeting the other day that was a silent movie? It was just, nothing was happening. Nothing was being heard. We couldn't hear anything. Remember all that? Well, what's really interesting to me is the fact that, let me show you what we got here. Here, ladies and gentlemen, is the Board of Works Public Safety agenda for March 25th. Okay. Pledge of Allegiance, roll call, consideration of the March 18th minutes, consideration of Register of Claims, unfinished business, nothing, new business. Now let's listen to this. New business, noise exemption authorization, North Central Central Industries, Inc., consumer fireworks display and demonstration. So that's there. Now listen to this. City of Muncie Media Services Agreement with Caleb Robbins. What? So you mean in the meeting where we couldn't hear anything, we were approving a contract with somebody who's apparently going to be doing the live streaming? Okay. That's interesting to me. I have filed a record request for all of this information because I want to find out what the contract is. I want to make sure that Caleb Robbins is the right person for the right job. Does he know what he's doing? Was he running Wednesday's meeting? If so, that's a problem. I mean, I've got a lot of issues with this. But then also, looky here, City of Muncie lease agreement with Delaware County. You know what that is, right? That's the drone lease. Isn't it funny that every time the mayor is jamming something through or doing something that there's issues, that the live feed stops, it doesn't record, the sound doesn't, I mean, every time, every single time. It's not like it doesn't happen. I mean, listen, it's not like it doesn't happen. It happens every single time. I just don't understand it. I know that Amber wasn't there. Is there not somebody besides Amber that knows how to run that machine half-assed? Every single time. Now we have Caleb Robbins to blame. And I'm telling you, Caleb, wherever you are out there, son, you better get on it, bro, because I'm not putting up with this shit much more. Because I'm telling you, they could pay Roger Overby. Roger Overby would have that shit up and running right now. You don't like Roger Overby? Okay, you're not paying him he's not a prostitute. He's running your camera. You don't have to like him. He has to be able to run your system, and he can do it. Okay? So I just think that's interesting. All right, before we move on, that's absolutely, Rachel. I talk about that all the time. Before we move on to Henry County, I want to talk about responsibility here a little bit. And Total Madness, I think, brought this up. Total Madness brought this up earlier in the evening about a fight between Amber, and there was a big thing on City Hall on What's Up Muncie. Somebody had posted a big post yesterday on What's Up Muncie about they had questioned AI about the City of Muncie and the FBI and all of this. And Amber, doing what Amber does, she got on there and was snarky. Now, there might be some people who say, well, she works for the City of Muncie. That's not right. Whatever, okay? And while I have a lot of issue with things that Amber says a lot of the time, I will fight for her right to utilize her First Amendment right. If we don't like something that she says while she's off duty, on vacation, or at home, whatever, then we have to stick it to Dan, okay? We have to unelect Dan. We have to pressure Dan to do something about it. That's how that works, okay? We don't take away someone's right to utilize their voice. Now, if Amber is doing that on the clock, like Shireen does, that's a problem. But the problem is we take that to Dan. Okay, you can fight with Amber, you can argue with Amber on there and do all of that. But the way that you have to deal with that is you take it to Dan, because Dan is who put her in place there. Dan is who we put the pressure on. Kate says, the problem is that she talks to people while she's on duty the same way. And absolutely. And if that's something that people have issue to, that's an issue. I'll tell you, here's the problem, though. I have a problem when people are commenting when they're on the clock. When they're off the clock, she has a First Amendment right. She's not elected. She's appointed. And it's not the same thing as being an elected official. Okay. I think that, yeah, to be perfectly honest, Stumblefoot, it takes more and more people. I tell you what, I tell you what happens if 1,200 people goes to City Hall to a meeting. That's some pressure. If 1,200 people goes up there and walks into his office, that's an issue. He has to see bodies. That's the way. That's all it is. Okay. If 5,000 people sent him an email, that would be a problem. If 5,000 people made phone calls, that would be a problem. Okay. He's not going to do anything. Okay. He's not going to do anything. Okay. To other than if he thinks that it's changing the public's perception of him. Okay. I don't even know who No King's protesters are fighting, which, hey, look, have your protest all you want. Whatever. Shouldn't we be protesting shit that matters? There's bigger issue to fight. Yeah, Stumblefoot. I absolutely 100%. And Kate's right. You know, you would figure that they would want to be she or anyone else would want to be a little bit more calm because they represent the city. And again, it's like my dad used to say, she can act as crazy as she wants. Anybody can do whatever they want as long as they're willing to pay the consequence. Her consequence is, does she want to work for the city of Muncie? Does she not? Dan's consequence is, do I want to put this person in place that is going to get me, in trouble with the populace? We have to make a consequence. He's not having a consequence. We have to give him the consequence. But we're getting off topic here. The reason I'm talking about this is there was a person on here that was posting, and they kept going back to Gabe Whitley's article from the Hoosier Inquirer, and they were utilizing this as their evidence. And in one of the comments, they said, "Don't worry, Amber is being investigated by the Indiana State Police." And I got in the comments and said, look, there's a lot wrong. There is a lot wrong with the city of Muncie. There is a lot wrong that people can have issue with Amber about. If people want to talk about her private life and affairs or not affairs or this or that, that's on people. I don't get into that. I don't talk about that. That's just not what I do here. Not with Amber, just not with anybody. Okay? Unless or until, and I'll bring up that unless or until here in a second. All right? And I'll talk about that. But I just got on there and said the number one thing people need to do when they're talking about this is not continue to spread bullshit. You need to ask yourself what matters most: getting the message out and spreading the word, or making people think that you know something that everybody else doesn't know. Okay? Ooh, I know something that everybody else doesn't know, so I'm going to add this little bit in there. That does nothing. What that does is that hurts your credibility. Okay? I could get on here and say, hey, you know what? I know Dan is going to fire Dustin in August. But then what happens is August comes and Dan doesn't fire Dustin, and then people don't believe me. So I don't say shit I don't know. And when I'm wrong, I admit that I'm wrong, and I come out and I say it. So I went on this post. Kate. I went on this post and I said, there might be lots of issues here, and lots of things that people can point out and talk about Amber about. But the one thing I can tell you is there is not a state police investigation into Amber Green. I have deep inside sources from the Indiana State Police. And there's just not a point in saying it. Okay? There's not a point to say it. And this person that was anonymous got on and kept fighting me. And I said, look, I said that nobody has this information, that there's this state police investigation into Amber. The place that they're coming up for that information from is Gabe Whitley's article. And Gabe Whitley is a trash National Enquirer-esque type of rag. Okay? It's just bullshit trash. Okay? Now listen, even a broken clock can be right twice a day. Okay? There might be things that he gets right. It doesn't mean it's like accidentally. Okay? It doesn't mean he gets something right because he's done work or he knows what he's talking about. The kid is Randy Howard. Okay? It's like we're dealing with demons that keep infiltrating different bodies, and it's the same demon in all these different people because they're all the same. Randy Howard's the same as Sproles, is the same as Gabe Whitley, is the same as this dingbat or this nitwit. It's all the same type of person. This person that wants to be powerful, they want to be the inside person, they want to have the inside scoop, they want to be cool, they want people to go to them and look to them for having the information. It's not Joe. Yeah, right. It's nonsensical, okay? And so everybody is going to this one article that people don't even know it's by this Gabe Whitley. They just think it's something. No, it's this article written by Gabe Whitley. Gabe Whitley is the kid who went to prison because he was creating imaginary friends. He literally went to prison because he was running for office and he was creating fake people to donate fake money to himself. Okay, that's what was going on. Gabe Whitley is completely nuts. All right. So I told everybody, quit using Gabe's. If you want to pass around Gabe's articles about the affair and about this, and you want to be salacious and talk about it, and that's fine. I'm not saying you should or shouldn't do it. I'm saying I don't do it. But to use that article and say, ooh, Gabe said that the state police is investigating, and this person came back and said, this person came back and said, it's funny that you must have gotten in trouble, or you don't talk about things in Muncie anymore. You must have been put in your place. And I said, no, that's bullshit. I just talked about Muncie 2 nights ago. I'll talk about Muncie when there's something to talk about. I'll talk about Anderson when there's something to talk about. I'll talk about, first of all, I have to be interested in it. Second of all, there has to be something. Okay. I haven't talked about a lot of the candidates in Muncie because they all suck. It's all the same. Vote for whoever you want. It's all going to be the same thing. I don't care about it. Muncie sucks right now. Delaware County sucks right now. We don't have anything good going on. It's all the same drab nonsense. They're all the same. It's all cut from the same mold. All right? There's not a whole lot going on. Hate Amber Green all you want and bash her and talk about her whatever. The state police isn't investigating her. Period. That's just the way it is. And so I told this anonymous person, and I'm almost convinced that the anonymous person was Gabe Whitley because he referred to me using a word that Gabe has used in the past. And so I'm convinced, and I'm not going to say what that is because that's his tell. That's one of his tells. He's got a couple. Lots of people have tells, and when you're used to reading people, you see these easily. And so I just told people like what I said, because I'm not on here talking about who somebody's sleeping with. Look, I'm not interested in talking about who Amber's sleeping with. There are public people that are involved. And yes, I saw what Joe said, and I know what the Bible says about affairs. And listen, what I think spiritually and religiously about something going on, that's between me and my God, her and her God, him and his God, and everybody. That's between everybody's own creator. For this show and what I do, I don't talk about people's love affairs. I don't talk about people being gay, people being sex addicts. Listen, here's what I'm telling somebody. I'm going to tell everybody out there. Bring me proof and information that somebody is doing something inappropriate with an underage kid, and I'll cover it. And I'll do whatever the hell I can to make sure that person goes to prison. Bring me some information that says somebody slept with somebody, and because of that, they got a job. Because of that, they got a contract. Because of that, they got a raise, and I'll talk about it. But outside of that, there are other places where you can go to get your information about whose boots are under whose bed or whatever that song said. You know what I mean? That's just not something I cover here. People can talk about whatever, and I'm not angry. I just don't talk about it here because I certainly just don't care. I just certainly don't care because, first of all, it's been going on since the beginning of time. And I mean, affairs and politics, my God, you know what I mean? Like nobody would be serving. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. It's just not something that I cover. All right. And the reason being is when you start talking about that, you always have to realize that there are always generally and a lot of times kids involved. There are unsuspecting private people that are involved. There are families and I just don't do it. And not doing it is not a sign of weakness. It's not a sign of someone telling me, yeah, you better not do this. It's just, I've never done it. I just don't do it because I don't care. You know what I mean? So not that privately I can't say, ooh, I don't like that or whatever. I have opinions. I'm not sharing my opinions and I'm not spreading the dirt. There are other people out there for it. Okay, that's that. That being said, and absolutely, and listen, Joe, I absolutely 1000%, I agree with you 110%. I agree with that statement 1000%. Now, if something is out, if something is said, if stuff starts happening, if people quit because of something or whatever, we'll talk about the political fallout. But I'm just a political show. I'm not getting involved in the private lives of who they're sleeping with or not sleeping with or who they're divorcing or not divorcing. It's just not something I do. That being said, talking about this stuff adjacent to it, I need people to understand that, like, it's crazy. So that post gets deleted only after I start pushing back. And this anonymous person, which I'm almost positive was Gabe, said, that's not what I'm even talking about. I'm talking about her attacking somebody in City Hall. And I said, okay, well, let me run with that for a minute. First of all, she didn't attack anybody inside City Hall. The allegations are that after a meeting of the Delaware County Redevelopment Commission, she had words with Don Chambers in the old Delaware County building, not City Hall. Okay. But where is the Delaware County building located? Inside the heart of Muncie. So if there is a criminal action that takes place at that address, there are 2 law enforcement agencies that could be responsible for that. Number 1, the City of Muncie, and number 2, Delaware County. Now, first and foremost, the way things go, in my opinion, it would be City of Muncie's case because it happens in the City of Muncie. But where's Muncie? Muncie is inside Delaware County. From what I've heard about this situation, there was some kind of argument, disagreement on an elevator. Okay, it's not captured by video camera, and it was on an elevator. And that Don Chambers, as a county employee inside the Delaware County building, he picked up the phone and he called Delaware County Sheriff's Department. I am aware that there was a Delaware County Sheriff's Department report, and I am aware that there was a Delaware County Sheriff's deputy that did some limited investigation. Okay, now if somebody wants to talk about the Delaware County Sheriff's Department and or possibly the Muncie Police Department investigating this, I wouldn't have said shit about it. I'm just telling you the state police is not investigating Amber Green about this or any other situation currently. And they have not been investigating her from the point that she was hired by the city up until now. Now, was there something else that could have happened in the past? I don't know. I'm just telling you there's not currently an investigation into Amber Green. And when I pushed that forward, this person got really mad. And then the next thing I knew, they deleted the post because I said, look, the state police doesn't investigate cases that Muncie can investigate or the county can investigate. And the state police is not going to come in and take over an investigation. And it doesn't matter that she's a city employee because she's a city employee who technically wasn't on the clock at that time. She was doing shit for the county. So she was just a private citizen and I'm not defending her. I'm just telling you legally what actually is happening. People think that this means I'm defending Amber. I'm not. I'm saying state police doesn't come in and overtake cases like that. They wouldn't. They're not going to do it because the sheriff's department made a report about it. They're not going to do a secondary report. And that's just not something they do. This was an argument between two people, period. Okay. So that's what it is. I'm just saying, I just want people you have a responsibility to just try to be truthful in disseminating information. And this need to interject your own thought or feeling needs to stop. You can say what your opinion is about a situation, but you have to make sure people know it's your opinion and not fact. Okay? We have a responsibility there to each other to do that. Because we are living in a time where a lot of people are just totally ignorant of what's really going on. You know what I mean? It's just totally crazy to me. I'm sure she can still accuse me of lying. Before it's said and done, I'm sure she's going to accuse me of a lot. But yeah, I'm certain. Okay, from there, I want to talk about a couple of things going on in Henry County since we last were together. Friday, I just cannot even begin to understand this. Okay, Friday, it comes out that okay. Stand by. Let me look at some messages in the group. Hold on here. Wait. Let me see what these are. Okay. Oh God. Okay. All right. While we're talking about Randy here. Sorry, I was just looking at this stuff. Okay, so just briefly, talking about Randy. Friday morning, thank you for that, Kate. Friday morning, I became aware that dingbat had filed, I don't know if he's used the help of an attorney or he did this himself, but he filed a tort claim against Henry County Sheriff John Sproles. Now, when I heard this, the initial thing that I posted was, good Lord, this just keeps on coming. The hits keep on coming. Okay. It's just gross. This is at this point, it's just absolutely gross. Okay. Every day I think, okay, we've hit bottom. It can't get any worse. But then I wake up the next day and ta-da, it's worse. It's actually shocking how horrible both John Tweedledee Sproles and Randy Tweedledum Howard can be. The sooner that Henry County citizens are rid of both Sproles and Howard, the better the county will be. To be clear, Sproles' statement on this matter back in early February 2026 was gross. I think what he did bringing Randy, a political opponent, into it and making that statement about Randy, it was wrong. It was ridiculous, and it was gross. But this most recent nonsense that Randy is attempting to pull is also gross. It's like neither one of them is capable of reading the room around them. Come on, citizens of Henry County. You all have to see how these two men are both poison, two sides of the same defective coin. Okay? Listen, what Sproles did to Randy was wrong. Randy running for sheriff, filing this tort claim, he's not doing it attempting to get some kind of justice or whatever. He's doing it for publicity. He's doing it because he thinks the county might pay him out a little bit of money. Hell, they might. I hope they don't. I want these guys to both go away. But this is absolutely insane. James Williams, yes.
I think Randy might have a problem.
What do you mean?
Getting anything out of this suit.
Yeah.
And the reason is because we didn't say anything about this, but we did file a Hatch Act.
Yep.
Against Sproles.
Yep.
For this exact post.
Yep.
Because he's talking about an opponent on the official page.
Yep.
And the office of whatever the heck it is kicked it back.
Yep.
And said they weren't going to address it. And the reason they weren't going to address it is because Sproles was specifically talking about information put out by the individual, and he was refuting that specific point.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that the insurance will likely make the exact same case.
Sure.
That it's not slander. He was addressing specific things that were said.
That Randy said, whether he's an opponent or a citizen or whatever.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
He was addressing that.
Yep.
So I think just based off the Hatch Act, the insurance would probably not end up paying him a dime.
I forgot all about that. We did that. That is right.
So that's my opinion. I could be completely wrong, but
you'll be
even
sued
if they
next.
do end up paying out, it won't be much.
Oh yeah. Yeah. No, that's a great point, Kate. That's right. Yeah. So this new tort claim filed against Henry County Sheriff's Office, laughable. The legal pressure on Henry County Sheriff's Office intensifies as a new tort claim has filed against John Sproles, accusing him of slander and defamation on a government social media page. This filing marks the 13th tort claim leveled against Sheriff's Office in recent. That's good to know. I had a lot of people asking me if I thought Mark did it, and I said, man, I don't know. I would hope he didn't, but yeah. This filing marks the 13th tort claim leveled against the Sheriff's Office in recent years, adding to a mounting pile of legal challenges involving the department's conduct and its handling of the high-profile death of inmate Nicholas Gawley II. The claim centers on a video posted to the official Henry County Sheriff's Office Facebook page on February 6, 2026, titled Statement of Factual Evidence Regarding the Recent Incarceration of Nicholas Gawley II. In the legal notice, Howard claims that the Sheriff's Office used his official, Sheriff Sproles used his official capacity and government resources to deliberately and intentionally damage Howard's reputation. What reputation? What reputation? Okay. And first of all, this was all done in the time that after Randy had filed. Randy keeps forgetting that he is a candidate for office. Dude. Did he think that everybody was going to thank him for filing? Randy Howard is a known misinformation propagandist. That is still so weird. Randy has incited much hostility and threats of violence towards our local law enforcement officers. Howard's filing pushes back directly, stating that there is zero evidence of an investigation, arrest, or proof that he ever induced violence against law enforcement. Stating that I incited hostility and threats of violence was stated as a fact, not an opinion. If such a threat was made, it would be a serious criminal offense. There has been no investigation, no arrest, and no proof. Excerpt from the tort claim notice. The backdrop, the death of Nicholas Gawley II. And I'm going to tell you something. I want to tell you guys something here, okay? I'm pretty sure, and I'll know this for a fact tomorrow, that Randy sent this to the news media. And I'll tell you that because his filing, nothing was filed on Friday. No filings have popped up or came forward. So to me, what that tells me is, number one, it's going to be really interesting to see the file stamp on this notice of tort. It's going to be very interesting to see because I think there's a possibility that it might not be the 26th or 27th. So if that file stamp is something after the 27th, that's going to be crazy. Because whenever we find out where he filed all of this through and did all of this, I'm going to find out, when he did what he did. And that's just more nonsense to point back at Randy. At this point, the more attention that gets brought towards this county issues, this race, the better. That's true. That's true, Joe. That is 100% correct. I agree. Then it goes on to talk about the lawsuit with the Gawleys and current status of the Howard claim, demand for evidence. Howard has issued a spoliation notice demanding the sheriff preserve all scripts, notes, emails, and investigation reports used to create the February 6th video. Extent of loss, Howard cites humiliation and embarrassment. But what he's doing isn't embarrassing. I mean, are you kidding me? Coward and Sheriff Tater Tort failed study hall. There's no rock bottom when it comes to Sproles and Randy. Next step, the county has a designated window to respond to the claim. If no settlement is reached, the matter is expected to move toward jury trial. What an absolute sack of shit.
You know, it's really sad to me, though.
What?
This tort claim is getting a hell of a lot of publicity.
More so than Nick Gawley's.
More so than Nick Gawley's, and more so than one that was filed on March the 23rd.
Which was?
Oh, I sent it to you, dear.
Oh. In
so
Messenger?
Mr. Howard did indeed file a tort. It may actually be the 14th tort claim.
Okay, I'm trying to get this open here.
Get it?
Okay, Shanta Schmeising, Tyler Schmeising, Zachary Antrim, Henry County Commissioners, John Sproul. Wait a minute. Shanta and Tyler versus Zachary Antrim, Henry County Commissioners, John Sproles, et al. All right, let's find out what the situation is here. What is the complaint and pleadings? What's this for? This is like opening a new present.
I know. Isn't it exciting?
Okay. Got it. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I know what this is.
This needs to be getting a hell of a lot more attention than somebody hurting poor old Randy's feelings.
Yeah. Yeah, let's take a look at this. Yeah. Yeah, I'm surprised I didn't know that name. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this was filed on my dad's birthday, March 23rd, Delaware County Circuit Court on Thursday, April 18th, 2024 at or around 6:15. Plaintiff Shanta Schmeising was operating a 2020 Jeep Wrangler traveling north on North Tillotson Avenue at the intersection of West McGalliard Road. Her vehicle was struck by the driver's side by a 2013 Dodge Dart traveling east at a high rate of speed on West McGalliard Road, which is being driven by defendant Zachary Antrim. The collision resulted in serious bodily injury to plaintiff, as well as the death of a passenger in the vehicle being operated by defendant Zachary Antrim. At all times relevant, the plaintiff and Tyler were residents of Muncie immediately prior and to the time of the conclusion. Traffic control device at the intersection were green for the northbound traffic on North Tillotson. Shanta had the right-of-way in the intersection immediately prior to and at the time of the collision. The traffic control device at the intersection was red for eastbound traffic. Immediately prior to and at the time of the collision, the defendant, Zachary Antrim, entered the eastbound left turn lane on West McGalliard at a high rate of speed to avoid the stopped traffic and also faced east on McGalliard. The collision was responsibly caused by the carelessness and negligence of defendant Antrim in the operation of his vehicle for failing to maintain and keep reasonable and proper lookout, failing to maintain control of the vehicle, failing to yield the right of way in a violation of Indiana code, and unreasonable speed too fast to avoid collision in violation of Indiana code, disregarding traffic signal, violation of Indiana code, operating a vehicle while intoxicated, causing serious bodily injury, reckless driving, resisting law enforcement, causing serious bodily injury, criminal recklessness in violation of Indiana code. At the time of the collision, defendant Antrim was traveling at a high rate of speed while being pursued by defendant Tanner Strelecki, a defendant with the Henry County Sheriff's Department. Defendant Tanner Strelecki began pursuing in Henry County, continued at a high rate of speed into Delaware County for over 15 miles, traveling through urban areas, residential neighborhoods, and school zones, reaching speeds of up to 100 miles per hour. Only ceasing pursuit after the collision between defendant Zachary Antrim and plaintiff Shanta Schmeising occurred. The high-speed pursuit initiated and maintained defendant Tanner Strelecki did not stop and not stopped by defendants John Sproles. Henry County Board of Commissioners, Henry County Sheriff's Department posed an inherent risk to the public. This is interesting. Okay, so we will look at this more in depth coming up. But yeah, this is a very, very serious suit, and this is just nuts.
This is filed on March the 23rd.
Yeah.
Which insurance company is this being filed? Is this the new one?
No.
Would this be filed on the new one or on the old one?
It'll be filed on the old one because it happened under the old one. It happened on April 18th.
So the date of the filing doesn't matter so much as the date
of when it happened.
Fine.
Yeah. The date of when it happened. Yeah. I just sent it to her.
So
Joe. Okay. So yeah. Yeah.
So we haven't had any that have popped against the new insurance yet. Because wasn't that the 21st they had to have the money to the
I
to them
think
by?
so. I think so.
So I was concerned that this was going on the new insurance already.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. No. This is still the old thing. That lawsuit is connected to the creation of the new drone base in Muncie. I don't know what that has to do. Explain that to me if you can. I don't know what you're talking about there. Yes, Joe, that you're correct. So that's right, Clint. So it's just this crap that Randy's doing. Well, so but that's not it. That's not it. It's there's more going on here. Okay. There's more than just what's happening here. Okay. It's totally crazy. So let me just tell you a couple of the things that happened Friday and Saturday while we were off, just trying to live a normal life, trying to not think about Randy Howard and any of these people and any of this nonsense. Okay, so this craziness happens with this tort claim that Randy filed. All right, then this starts happening. Okay, people start inundating me with pictures of these extremely bizarre signs that are now popping up all over Henry County. And I was like, wait, what is this that you're sending me? What? Yeah, I did see that, Diane. That was nuts. I was like, what is this? What is going on here? Okay. So this is a sign that Randy has made where he's cut and pasted crap together. Randy Howard for sheriff. I just cannot even figure out what is going on here. What in the white trash redneck style of campaign is this? You know? Like this? How Newcastle of you? I'm sorry to all my Newcastle people. You know what I mean, though. If you live there, you know what I mean. Like, this is very Newcastle to me. But he had to do this because he's an idiot. Because he didn't know about what their ordinance is down there. And so what this dummy has done is he put together a bunch of signs that were too big. And somebody that is familiar with the process said, wait a minute, we all have to kind of play by the same rules down here. So on March 18th, Aaron Dickin, Newcastle City Councilman, sent a letter to the Henry County Voter Registration Elections Office. And Aaron Dickin says, Dear Elections Board, I verified with the Voters Registration Election Office on Tuesday, March 17th, 2026, that the allowable square footage of a yard campaign sign should be no larger than 6 square feet. I have noticed in the past that some candidates produce large signs within the city limits, which in my opinion are unnecessary. Please see the enclosed photos of campaign signs in my neighborhood. These square signs, South Main and Riley, for example, measure 4 by 4, 16 square feet. The rectangular sign, South 18th and Riley, for example, measure 8 by 4, 32 square feet. If our candidates cannot follow rules or do not know or understand them, what should we expect they should? Why should we expect? What should we expect? Let's see here. What should we expect should they be elected, especially if they're running for a position that is for law enforcement? Thank you for your attention to this matter. And then he sent in pictures of the signs and all of that. Well, that's what's been happening to Randy's signs. But is Randy okay with that? Is Randy okay with this? No, he's not, because he posts an ignorant post that says, complaint filed, size matters. Newcastle Democrat Councilman Aaron Dickin has officially filed a complaint with the local election board. Apparently, size matters. If it's too big, he's going to complain. Once it's smaller, not too big now. What is Randy doing there, do you reckon?
Playing the victim again.
Well, yeah.
Everything is always someone else's fault.
Yeah, right.
It's not his fault that he didn't follow the rules.
No, yeah, but
it's Aaron's fault for calling him out.
Yeah, but could he not say that, making it a little less bizarrely sexual? Listen to this again and listen.
No, because further on he clarifies that it's not.
Yeah. That's right. That's what I'm saying. You're killing me, Kate. What?
It is creepy.
Yeah, it's weird. He's so weird.
A 65-year-old man who's married on there doing an innuendo.
Yeah, it's very weird.
While playing the victim. It's really disgusting.
If people haven't seen this, they need to see this. It says, Newcastle Democrat Councilman Aaron Dickin has officially filed a complaint with the local election board. Apparently, size matters. If it's too big, he's going to complain. Once it's smaller, not too big now. To be clear, we're talking about my political signs. For reference, Newcastle ordinance says residential political signs must be under 6 square feet, City of Newcastle only. On commercial properties, political signs can go up to 96 square feet that are located within city limits. Good news, all my big, beautiful signs have been modified to comply 100% with legal limits. Now here's the funny part. If you drive around town, you'll notice I'm not the only one with signs out there, but somehow I'm the only one getting the size inspection. Makes me wonder, why mine? Why not everyone else? Why not members of his own Democrat Party? Shouldn't city ordinances apply to all equally? Wait a minute. Where's the rest of that? Did you not send me the whole thing? What the hell? Hold on. Oh, wait. No, wait. Right. No, here it is. It's just out of order. Not your fault. That's mine. I hate when I'm doing it this way. That's my fault. Why not mention his own Democrat Party? Shouldn't city ordinances apply equally to all? I do appreciate the councilman's deep concern about my sign size. Didn't realize it was such a priority issue. And like a few others, I was not aware of this required size requirement. But hey, when you're doing things right, I guess people start measuring. At least Dickin will measure my signs and no one else's. Councilman Dickin is within his right to file a complaint against signs too big by local law. I find no fault with the local election board, nor do I, Mr. Dickin, except for specifically targeting my signage only. Here is Councilor Dickin's complaint and before and after my sign modification. So he's an idiot because this wasn't his only sign. He also had those crazy, great big, large ass signs that, Mary, that had his picture and his, like, all of his karate certificates on it, and his scuba underwater basket weaving certification. You know what I mean? I just don't understand. But that, yeah, right, James, absolutely. I was going to read it like that. But I got two more Randy. I got one more bashing Randy things to say, and then I have the final bit of information to then to supply to you all, and then we'll be out of here. Okay, so first and foremost, this was shared to me, and I knew this. Honestly, I knew this. I just didn't. It's been so busy. I had not posted. I'm trying, Kate, at this point. I'm like trying. And I'm really hoping this one will do it. Here is when Randy ran as a Democrat. He's part of the Democratic Party. What shocks me is I know that we have these up in Muncie, but I didn't know that Newcastle had these. I am just happy to announce, ladies and gentlemen, 1000%, that Dandy Randy, Tweedledum, Howard the Coward, who along with all other things that he claims to be, is now claiming that he's a Republican in a Democrat's body. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce to you trans Republican Randy Howard, running for laughingstock of Henry County. So he, along with we got several of them up here in Delaware County. But I didn't know that Randy identified as a trans Republican. So I'm happy. I'm happy that you're out, Randy. I'm happy that you're living your best life. I wish you would go back in and go away now. But that was good to see. You know, good to see. Good to see. Okay. The last thing I have to say, the last bit for the night. And I mean this with all sincerity. I mean this seriously. Okay. Can we just get Coward and Sheriff Tater Tot their own springy rocking horse and cowboy hats and make them sit there until one crosses the finish line? I thought you meant the teeter-totter thing where they went back and forth looking at each other. I thought that's what you meant. Okay. Maybe we could get them one of those. No, here are the two guys. Okay. This is important. This is a serious offer. This is not a joke. I mean this with all seriousness. This is a call to action, I guess, if you will, or whatever you want to call it. This is an open invitation. If you or someone you know out there is a real live, honest to God supporter of one of these two men, okay? If you support John Sproles in his run for re-election, or if you support Randy Howard in his run for election as sheriff, I want you to contact me. Okay, contact Kate, contact the show. The Political Spotlight is looking for supporters of Sproles and Howard who would be willing, and I don't need 10 of you. Anybody can call, but we're going to pick one of you from both sides. If you would be willing to come on and on the air and share your thoughts on the current election and what it is about the candidate of your choice that draws you into both of these people, okay? It's clear that both men are controversial for various reasons. but we're interested in the ways that you overlook all of that controversy. I want to hear what about your candidate for sheriff makes you support him or him. Okay. And I mean this in all sincerity. Okay. Because Sproles is more than likely not going to come on the program, and Randy is more than likely not going to come on the program. I'm going to send a formal message out to both of them asking them if they would be willing to come on the program. But I'm sure they're not going to. So I'm going to do the very next best thing. If there is someone out there, and I mean this, if someone is out there that supports Sproles or Howard, I want you to contact us. This is not a setup. You will be treated with respect, at least from me and Kate. I can't tell you what the comments might say or do, but you will be treated with respect, and your voice and your opinion will be heard fully and fairly. Here's what I'm asking. Why do you support the candidate of your choice? What do you believe they stand for? Why is your candidate the right man for the job? What are you hoping your candidate will accomplish if he or he is elected this time? How do you feel about the negative information currently circulating about your candidate? Okay. If you're willing to join us, you will have uninterrupted time to speak for as long as you want to speak, up to, 10, 15 minutes if you want. Okay. You can say whatever you want to say and you will not be attacked. After that, I will ask you a few questions, and then we can have an open and respectful dialogue so that the audience can better understand your position. You're invited to present your side to the audience, which is made up of a lot of Henry County voters. If you are willing to step forward, please do one or more of the following. You can comment below my post on social media. You can private message me on Facebook. You can email me at one of the emails, the Political Spotlight or Kristopher Bilbrey's email, whichever one it is. We'll put it up on the screen here in a minute. And or you can call or text the studio line. We genuinely want to hear from you, and we want you to do that. So there is my phone number. You can call or text. Okay. And or if you want to email khbilbrey@gmail.com, or you can email tpsprogram@gmail.com, or you can comment on Facebook or whatever. Okay. So that's how you can do that. And I'm being very, very serious. Listen, inexplicably and beyond any reason, yeah, Jack, I can't explain it, but there are people out there that are supporting both of these men. It's very odd. It's very strange. I cannot wrap my mind around it because there is so much nonsense surrounding both of these men that it simply just does not make sense. But since these two guys are going to be weak and, in my opinion, ill-suited to be candidates, ill-suited to be sheriff, they're not going to come on and tell their stories. So I'm asking you, come on, tell me what you like about these people. I will not be rude to you. There will be no name calling. I will be polite. And we'll find out what you like about Sproles or Randy. and we'll do that. Kate. So just do that and let us know. I'll be looking for people. If someone knows of somebody that I could reach out to, I'm not going to just reach out to people because that's nuts. But I'm giving someone the opportunity. Okay? I'm sure Jerry Jones will call. Yeah, right. It's hard, and it's hard. Listen, I'll be honest. As goofy as he is, I kind of feel bad for Randy. Randy's sister is literally in comments all over Henry County, different pages, talking about how she's supporting Jim Nicholson. Randy's sister is in the comments talking about how she wants Jim Nicholson signs. She's supporting Jim Nicholson. The family's supporting Jim Nicholson. And yes, I've heard that they will come on. Jim Nicholson, I'm going to invite. We're going to start here in the next week, start looking into inviting candidates from different areas on. So I'll have anybody that wants to come on. I hate candidate interviews. I've said in the past, I'm only going to interview people that I like, or bizarre people that I really don't like. I hate trying to set up the whole interview everybody thing because it's just a pain in the ass. And then you got candidates that like to screw around and do all this nonsense, but we're going to do it. We're going to try to do it to see the people want to. I'm not going to fight anybody. I'm not going to go hunting people. I'm gonna put when we put the call out, I'm gonna put the call out, and whoever calls and wants to come can do it, and everybody else is gonna get dogged, because if you're not willing to come on and talk, you shouldn't be running for office, because it's not about the interviewer, it's about the people that you reach. And if you are so much of a pussy that you can't come on and you can't talk with me, then away you go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for us this evening. I appreciate everything. Share the show with everyone you know. Help spread the word. Share the show. Do all of that stuff. It's great and wonderful if you can do that. We will be back here, God willing, tomorrow night, same time. And we will have a lot more insanity to talk about, I am sure. You guys have a wonderful rest of your weekend. We will see you for episode 629. And that'll be it. Good night.